Well, if you've been in this business for more than a month or two, the question has come up to you from an owner client who says, gosh, I want to do my own property maintenance, or can I do my own property maintenance? And we pause and think, I don't know. Should I allow them? Am I allowed to allow them? So let me offer you a few thoughts and suggestions around this topic of letting your owner clients do their own repairs on their property. Now, I have to say, this is really, really important. Don't miss this. This is not a right or wrong. You do what works for your company. Any topic we talk about, we always break into two categories. Either the ones that it's like, this is a right or wrong. You've got to do it this way. And other things like this are, you know what? You do what works for you. So these are some thoughts and suggestions, but you do the best way. So we have to make sure we understand, got ahead of my slides, not a right or wrong decision. Now, with that in mind, if you say yes, you can do your own maintenance on your property, there needs to be a lot of information you're giving to them after that. It has to come with conditions. For example, if you're going to say yes, you could say, oh, okay, sure, it's your property, I guess. Yeah, you can do the repairs. But here's what that process is going to have to look like, Mr. Owner. I'm going to treat you like a regular vendor. We're going to set you up in our system as a vendor. So that means when the request comes in from that tenant and their toilet's backed up or the sink is running or the appliance isn't working, whatever, we will notify you just like we notify a vendor. That's how we have to set it up logistically. So you'll get an email or a text or however you do it. That'll be the notification. Now, it's also important to understand that I've got liability here to control the maintenance. So if you don't respond to that notification, I'm going to go on to the next vendor in my business. I can't just like pause everything and be like, okay, don't do anything. Let me call John and tell him that the toilet's backed up. We can't do that. So we can set you up as a vendor, but you've got to respond. So if the call comes in at 3 a.m. that there's water all over the place because the water heater blew up and you don't respond in 10 minutes, then we're going to stop and we're going to go on to our next vendor to get those things done. And they say, what? I don't want to get the call at 3 in the morning. I just want to handle normal stuff. Well, we can't really do that. Everything is streamlined. Everything's normal to us. The water heater that blew up is normal to us. So we have a very tight process. So you see where this can get a little bit sticky on some of these things there. So make sure they understand that. Because what you don't want to do is be like, no problem. I'll get you notified all the time. And then the water heater does blow up and you don't call them and you call your regular plumber and then the owner's mad because they didn't get the call. Now they want you to pay for it. So there's a lot of risk with getting this wrong. So keep that in mind. There's got to be all those conditions that come with it. And if they don't respond timely or quickly, then you're going to have to go on to the next vendor. And if they're not okay with that, then they shouldn't be allowed to do this. Now, number two, with that said, if you're going to let them do it, you must, as the PM, now this is a right or wrong, do not, my friends, do not allow access through the owner directly. You don't say, well, here's a key, it's your property, so just, don't abuse it, but I'll tell you if something needs to happen. No. The keys have to be controlled by you at your office. They can't keep a key. They're going to have to come by. I've got to come pick up a key to my own property? Yes, you do. Because if something were to happen, if there's a break-in on the property, the police are going to say, who has a key? And if I say, well, John has one there, I can't take that liability. I'm sure you're the most honest guy in the world, Mr. Owner, but I have to control those things for my own liability and the safety of my tenants. So no, you can't keep a key to your property. Well, it just doesn't seem like it. Seems like I understand. I know that's just the litigious world we live in. It's kind of crazy, isn't it? Don't make an exception on this one. Now, before I tell you the next important thing, I want to thank the sponsor for this video, Property Meld. Hopefully, you have a strong process in place for your maintenance, and if you don't, that's what Property Meld does. These guys are the capital T, capital H, capital E, the experts when it comes to all things maintenance on properties. They take the stuff in, they help the stuff go out, they make sure the stuff is done, it's all registered, it's all logged. Jump on their website, Property Meld. You ought to go to their conference as well, my friends. Upcoming, it's a fabulous conference to see how we can do it. Property maintenance is the hardest thing we do. Don't try to do it yourself. Use the experts, Property Meld. You will be glad you did that. All right, number 4. If you're on the fence, you're like, I don't know. I mean, I would prefer they not do it, but I don't want to lose a good property over that as well. Here's some middle ground that you may want to consider. Maybe the middle ground is this. Hey, Mr. Owner, while the tenant is in place, we have to control who has access. And we have to make sure that anybody that goes into that property for any repair is licensed and they're insured and they know what they're doing. And so while the property's occupied, no, you can't do regular recurring maintenance. However, because there's a comma there, however, when the property goes vacant, you can knock yourself out. You do the whole make ready. Absolutely, you're welcome to do it while the property's vacant. But when it's occupied, we have to control it. What we've found over time is that offering typically goes a long way in appeasing those owner clients who do want to be involved. As long as they can do the make ready on the property, they're probably fine with not doing the day-to-day maintenance junk that might come up on the property. So a lot to think about there, but be cautious, because what you don't want to do is make a promise that you can't deliver on with that. Hey, my friends, if you are interested in coming to Denver and visiting me and my team for 2 days, we just announced dates. January of 2026, our Visit Grace event. These things have been popular. We actually have people coming back that have come to earlier ones. They want to come spend 2 days with me again. I get sick of my own team after a few days. I don't know why they want to spend more time with me. But that's how impactful these events have been. Jump on our website, pmbuild.com. Check it out. If that's of interest to you, we'd love to host you at my office in December. Until next time, and as always, my friends, I wish you success.